President Trump has said that he's done a deal with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, which would allow TikTok to continue operating in the United States. It comes after a phone call between the two leaders, but it has not been confirmed by Beijing. Data security concerns have led the US Congress to insist the app is banned unless it is sold to an American buyer. Our North America technology correspondent Lily Jamali says the final details of any deal are still unclear.
We really don't have a lot of details, and I think your point is a really important one to dwell on, that China has not confirmed what Trump posted on social media. He sort of slid in this phrase saying that he appreciated the TikTok approval in a post that was otherwise, speaking nicely about a call that he had with President Xi today. President Xi, according to a readout that we saw from the main Chinese news agency, was pretty non-committal, frankly. He said he welcomes negotiations on TikTok. That doesn't sound very much like a deal has been finalized, according to what we'd been promised by the White House earlier this week. But we have heard, and it's fairly certain, that Oracle, which is run by a Trump ally, Larry Ellison, the big tech company, is going to be one of the partners in this consortium of American investors planning to take over TikTok here in the U.S.
It is interesting because if there are Americans running the US side of the TikTok app, is ByteDance and China going to hand over that vital algorithm, which is what TikTok survives from, why it is so popular?
That is the key question. What happens to the algorithm? And actually, when President Trump was in the UK yesterday, on Thursday, he was asked about this by a reporter. What happens to the algorithm? Does an American investor group have to recreate the algorithm, or do they license it from the current owners, which are ByteDance? Donald Trump answered the question, sort of talking more about the broad strokes of the deal, but actually sidestepped that really important issue. And the algorithm is what has made TikTok such a powerful force. It's where a lot of Americans get their news. TikTok, 170 million Americans are on the platform. You have content creators using it to sell things and promote their businesses. So that algorithm is in large part what keeps so many Americans on the platform.
So do you think if we do get this deal, we could see a different version of TikTok in the US, like a TikTok Lite versus what the rest of the world sees?
It's entirely possible, but the truth is that the exact details of what this platform will look like once a deal is finalized, if it is finalized, just is not clear. I will say there was a different investor group, not the one that's led by Oracle, that's headed by a different billionaire, actually, Frank McCourt, who is a real estate investor. And he's talked about the idea of taking over TikTok and not using the Chinese algorithm, creating their own. That proposal has really turned a lot of heads, because people look at it and say, well, then why would people be on TikTok if they're not constantly being served up with material that the platform knows that they're going to like? But it's certainly an experiment, and it is absolutely a possibility that whoever ends up with this platform will have to remake their own algorithm.